At Virtual Reality Reviewer, we are excited by the idea of our favourite games being reimagined for VR, and we are looking forward to experiencing new genres that VR will enable. But sometimes the indescribable feeling of being there is enough. Indeed, sometimes VR is at its best when you are simply taking a sedate stroll through an idyllic or fantastical location. As Sony so insightfully put in their GDC 2014 talk, in VR, presence trumps game design. Here are our impressions of 10 of the most memorable Oculus buildings, locations, sets and scenes. Most of these demos don't have objectives or defined endpoints, but they're all worth a look. For many, the TUSCANY demo packed in with the Oculus SDK is their first VR experience. It is easy to see why, even with all the wealth of demos available, people keep coming back to TUSCANY to introduce VR to newcomers. It immediately demonstrates virtual reality's ability to transport you somewhere new. Even without any game-like goals, it is captivating. Even more so if you have access to a Razer Hydra, allowing you to reach into the world and pick up objects. Inspecting a book feels really natural and significantly enhances your sense of presence. Unfortunately, the lack of proper physics for throwing an object quickly shatters that illusion. After you get over the initial novelty, you'll be struck by the way that TUSCANY captures the essence of a warm, tranquil holiday afternoon. Butterflies flutter by, and dandelion seeds dance in the wind. This is a nice place to be. Casa de SOUTO MOURA is a recreation of a building in Portugal by the award-winning architect Eduardo Souto de Moura. There is obvious value in using VR to visualize architecture. It could be used as an educational aid for studying the discipline, or applied commercially to the real estate business. If popularity of property shows is anything to go by, there could be a market for such visualizations to simply support a kind of aspirational virtual tourism. The CASA itself is crisp, modern and distinctive. It is minimalistically furnished, which is fitting for the aesthetic of the building, but can leave the place feeling a little lonely. It's a nice bright day and you can imagine standing on the balcony with friends. Unlike the TUSCANY demo though, which presents beautiful views all around the villa, the SOUTO MOURA demo is focused squarely on the building itself. You get a sense that there's a spectacular view to be found somewhere, but it always feels like you've not quite got the angle for that breathtaking sunset. EUSEUM is an experimental virtual art gallery. The building is not based on any particular museum, but it looks the part. The classical music is a bit heavy-handed though. Art from various different artists hangs on the walls, but of course it can hardly be appreciated at the resolution of the Rift. In fact, few demos highlight the inadequacy of the first dev kit's screen as well as EUSEUM does. Of course, this is just a proof of concept demo, but it does highlight that even beyond hardware limitations, a lot more needs to be considered to make virtual art galleries begin to approach the real thing. There is certainly value in placing artworks in the proper context of a gallery space, but if artworks are just flat JPEGs, then I'm not sure enough value is being added for what you lose. A good virtual gallery will need finely detailed 3D scans of the works so that texture can be conveyed. A VR gallery is also a great opportunity to experiment with augmenting the experience, allowing the viewer to zoom, overlay and compare other works, for example. Of course, further we go down that road, the more redundant it seems to actually recreate the gallery space itself. Jerry's Place is a neat recreation of Seinfeld's iconic apartment from the hit 90s sitcom. Everything is in its right place, from the wall-mounted green bike by the bathroom to the Superman action figure and the kitchen shelves full of an absurd number of cereal boxes. The Tweety Pie Pez dispenser is a nice flourish. It is a faithful recreation, but without a Jerry, George, Kramer and Elaine, the place feels a little lifeless and you wouldn't want to spend loads of time there. The most interesting thing about walking around Jerry's Place is the existence of the fourth wall, which makes the space feel much smaller than you might imagine from watching the show. It might have been interesting to have that wall pull away, revealing a studio. This would mark a contrast between experiencing the apartment as one of the characters and experiencing a set as one of the actors. Ocarina of Time represents a great deal in the hearts and minds of many gamers, so it was only natural that sooner or later someone would try to bring that world to virtual reality. Indeed, there is actually more than one Oculus demo of the starting area, KOKIRI Forest. Both happen to be released around the same time, and both are a great demonstration that you don't need the most modern graphics and detailed textures to create a magical VR experience. You are young Link, so you may get a little disoriented being so close to the ground, but this also serves to make the Great Deku Tree all the more awe-inspiring. Obviously this is mostly a nostalgia trip, but it also makes you wonder how fun a full VR remake of Ocarina of Time might be. The Spirited Away Boiler Room is another demo that pays homage to an iconic set from popular culture. Look down and you will see the body of Sen, the film's protagonist, which is a little disconcerting if you're not used to the body of a 10-year-old girl. You start in a corridor and make your way through to the boiler room itself. The textures and colour of things are very true to the Studio Ghibli style. Of course, the cute little soot creatures are scurrying back and forth, and they really make you wish you could get down on your hands and knees to take a much closer look. The six-armed man who tends to the boiler is there as well. His animation is looped and doesn't respond to your presence, but the demo is certainly richer for him being there. He makes Boiler Room that much closer to putting you in the actual scene from the movie rather than just the uninhabited set. This idea of creating a location with just enough moving parts that it feels like you are playing through a scene in a movie is something that Kite and Lightning have mastered in their two demos for the Rift. The first, The Cave, starts you in an elevator. You descend and make your way through the doors into a massive chamber. The sight of bats in flight mark it unmistakably as the Bat Cave. When you arrive at the centre, a holographic display blinks into life as the Bat computer displays information about a suspect. A holographic city forms at your feet and a beautifully detailed hologram of your target appears.
For this man, Evan Corbin, the CEO of Epicom, a developer of military AI systems. He is a very dangerous man and very well protected. I took the liberty of equipping the Batmobile.
Of course, the Batmobile is then readied, and it looks so inviting that you'll be itching to hop in and save Gotham. Disappointingly though, this is where the cave demo ends.
What's up? Been going on the K&L Express today. You about to have your mind blown away. Even better right now because I'm going to sing you a song to get you going on your...
Kite and Lightning's other demo, Station, is even more impressive. You are in a Blade Runner-esque spaceport of some kind, complete with flying cars and bustling streets. It is a very cool location that really makes you want to explore more than you're able. What makes this scene really special though, is that it features another character who talks directly to you and looks like an actor rather than a model.
You're going off to another galaxy. That's why I'm here today. You got lucky and you're hearing my voice. You're hearing my song.
He seems to have been created using 3D video. The nature of your interactions with him ensure that you can only see him from one angle, allowing this effect to work without breaking. The effect is cleverly done and very engaging. Weirdly, when Station ends it takes you directly to the start of the cave demo, which is actually a little jarring. Malfunction straddles the line between scene and psychological horror game. but as its main focus is taking in the details of the space you are in, it finds its way onto this list. You start in the bedroom of an apartment. The view from the window gives you a sense that you are in a world, not just a room. Noticing your reflection in the bedroom mirror is a strange sensation. When you explore the rest of the flat, you'll find a woman in the kitchen and a note on the table telling you not to trust her. I won't give away exactly how it ends, but it is with a jump and some deliberately presence-breaking visual effects. Malfunction had taken such care to create immersion that I almost would have preferred it to have played out like a normal morning routine in this clean and pleasant flat. Blocked In calls itself a diorama, and that is a good description of the nature of the experience. You can't move, but simply look around at your curious surroundings, taking in all the finely crafted details. A workbench with a Game Boy and a half-constructed Tetris block. Or is it half disassembled? As you inspect the rest of the room, you'll see other Tetris blocks strewn about. One is being used as a makeshift chair leg. You'll notice the familiar Tetris theme playing, and turn your head to find the source of the sound. Out the window is a city with blocks relentlessly falling from the sky. It feels distinctly like this could be the end of the world. Was I the cause, or am I working on a solution? The clues seem to be all around you, but the answer is just out of reach. Blocked In is an artful, haunting experience that will stick with you, and not just because the Tetris theme gets stuck in your head.